Hello and welcome to Midnight Scribe's Creative Vibes, where we speak to the best of the bronies and discover what makes them tick. Now, one of the great things I've enjoyed about doing this show, aside from the name brand recognition, #1 pony podcast starring me, out of one, whatever, but you know, it's still true, is the fact that I get to meet lots of different and fantastic people, learn a wee bit about them, and hopefully put a nice big spotlight on them so more folk learn about what they do. So, what can I tell you about tonight's guest? Well, our guest tonight is an artist with a very 80s aesthetic to his work. He likes everything from Blackadder to MLP. And here is someone else interesting about our guest. He is in student accommodation and is actually learning a bit of military history at university right now. But we'll get on to that in a wee bit. And actually, most important thing about him is one of his many hobbies is that he likes to annoy his friends. Same, man! We have so much in common!
Yay!
Yay! We give a warm Creative Vibes welcome to Chaosmauser. Chaos, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay until the plumbing decides to go bye-bye!
Yeah, just perfect opportunity. Right in the middle of the intro, plumbing just goes, nah. Aside from the plumbing, how are things going on your end?
They're going pretty good. Just chilling and arting and housework. Stuff a 20-year-old would do, apart from drinking excessively.
Hey, listen, that's just part of the student experience. I completely understand that. But we have to talk about yourself, and first thing I've got to say is, going through your art, which I love, by the way, the first thing I saw that I immediately fell in love with, synthwave ponies. Seriously, that is so friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Shy horse noises.
Oh, listen, no need to be shy. Listen, your artwork is absolutely fantastic. I love the aesthetic that you're going for, and you've done quite a few pieces combining, you know, poems with this kind of 80s aesthetic and cyberpunk aesthetic. And are you suggesting Princess Celestia as a dictator?
I cannot say my political affiliations online.
Oh yes, so if you're a fan of Celestia or Luna, who knows? This is an apolitical show as far as the poems are concerned, so if you're on one side or the other, I'm afraid we're not discussing that here.
Summer's the best. I mean, what?
Oh boy, right, listen, hot take here. But no, it is definitely clear from your work that your aesthetic as an artist is definitely 80s, which is, listen, that's completely up my alley, and I love it so much. And how did you actually decide to go down this route?
To be honest, it was just because when originally I started arting in 2014, and they were completely abysmal, those drawings. And over time, I was just like experimenting, all that song and dance. And then it came to like trying different styles, and it was like listening to 80s music. It was this looks nice, gradient, moon, the cliche stuff like that. And it's like, okay, start drawing it, getting a bit more, getting like the colours right this time, rather than like using standard colours and then adding that synthwave background, and it just doesn't work right. So it's like you're trying to use the colours, and then basically what you do, like the tool I use to do the art on is Media Bank Paint, which is I think it's on the Google Play Store somewhere, and basically you just keep abusing the gradient and the overlay layers as well, so it gives it that more perky, vibrant look. Because it's all done on a tablet rather than computing everything. Yeah,
because that was one thing I noticed as well. Because you were talking there about your early art as well, and like, you know, because like seeing for your deviant art, one thing once again I love doing with any artist having the show, go back to the beginning and just flick through and just see what's changed in the last few years.
Oh, a lot has changed.
Oh, no question there. I mean, it's because I mean, your earliest pieces you had up, I mean, a lot of it was traditional pieces, and like then you went digital, and like, good God, you went digital hard. You went straight in.
Oh, the thing with that, like I said, the first digitals, like you see on the DeviantArt thing, is like me taking pictures of the Apple Mac and everything, because I think that was back in sixth form. That was about 2015, 16. About that period, and for the entirety of the year, I just sat on Adobe Illustrator on it and just kept on drawing and drawing. You know, got like the back of the class laughing, he's drawing ponies, you know, the usual cliche. But yeah, just carried on drawing and everything, and finally understood how it works. And when it got to like the last year of A level, because the first year was more of a college thing due to GCSEs, and that's a whole other game to go into. But yeah, it was by the time we got to proper A level and did art and graphics, the tutor was like, "Oh, you didn't know how to use it." Yeah, it was just self-taught, and like, and all that show. So it was kind of from there, and then it started building up a bit more. And then when I got the tablet, which was at Christmas, because my mum had got a Sky, one of those Sky deals where you go, get 12 months of Sky and you get a free tablet or phone or Xbox or whatever they're giving out at that point. And mum used it for about a week and didn't really want it because she normally uses it for books. So she's like, "Do you want it for 20 quid?" I was like, "I'm having a..." I can't say no to her. A tablet for 20 quid.
Oh, listen, if a deal like that comes, jump on it.
Oof. I mean, that's what's a proper Dickinson's real deal there.
That is such a British reference.
Dickinson's real deal. Oh, he's got a deal there, Jim.
Right, so I'm just going to explain this briefly, just for anyone who isn't from Britain, who doesn't know what that's about. Dickinson's real deal is Davy Dickinson that hosts it. It's like an antique dealer.
Yeah, Mr. Tanned Face, because he likes to put on fake tan a lot.
Yeah, and he hosts a lot of kind of daytime shows revolving around antiques in Britain. It's all very kind of, light-hearted, mumsy kind of stuff. It is really fun to watch, in my opinion, and he is an absolute ledge. Talking a bit about the student life, we briefly touched on it in the intro, that you're actually studying military history at university.
Aye, it's harrowing work, but get by. Tutors are all decent and everything, and rather than it all being, it's tanks and explosions and basically any type of film that involves the maker of Transformers, who I can't think of his name, Michael
Bay.
That's him. It's not like Michael Bay, 18th century style. It's more talking about like the theorists between like how war is fought. So you get a lot of Clausewitz, Jomini, Wikipedia, those guys. So you basically see like how war works and theorists on like strategy and everything. Yeah, you do look at like, you see like, oh yes, there's the Crusader tank which the British had during North Africa, and then you'd have, you talk about different ones as well. But it's like a mixture of political, economic, like military, basically it's a full circle, and it also includes international relations as well. So you'd have like the political status of America in the 1920s in foreign policy and all that. And yeah, it is pretty interesting. I'm on the second year now, so it's basically used foreign policy, armoured warfare, which is basically seeing how basically the first event of the Mark I tank all the way up to today's tanks now, and the tactics and mechanics and all that gubbins.
So just kind of the full ins and outs of the military history of of the world, really, and how it all kind of connects together. I mean, I did history and politics, so I know what it's like in terms of how dense it can be in terms of a subject. Particularly once you really go into the nitty-gritty philosophical side of things as well, where you just end up in the rabbit's hole.
That's what Theories of War was, and oh boy, that was fun.
I can completely understand that, and you know what? I'm not surprised that someone who's studying the incredibly dense, serious topic of military history, on the flip side, is a fan of My Little Pony.
I mean, you got to have some kind of sarcasm within the seriousness.
Oh, exactly. No, you've got to have a balance, and you've got to have a bit of frivolousness around it all. And in terms of My Little Pony, because that's what currently brings us all together. How did you actually first become a fan of MLP? Because you mentioned earlier on about how you were arting back in sort of 2015, 2016. How did you first get exposed to the show?
But it actually started in 2012, as probably most of the fandom kind of did, rather than back in 4chan days. Basically, I was funny enough, I was actually waiting in science class, and my mate, who I'm not going to name because he's not in the fandom anymore, said, "Oh, could you look up this word, brony?" I was like, "You what?" I said, "Brony." Okay, and I forgot it just as we went into the class, and I asked him the next day, and I looked it up. I said, "Oh, okay, that's the thing." So he said, "Yeah, just watch a few episodes, see what you think." Okay, sat down, watched a bit of season 2. Yes, he's all right. Watched it a bit more. That's pretty good. And then came to the point, was like, okay, I'm part of the fandom. Yay. I did the worst thing you could do in a high school, which was say you're part of something that does not follow the mainstream, and especially My Little Pony, where it's like, hey, you like a show that's not your age. You're etc. etc. So the bullying kicked in, and then it was hiding for 2 years because I just couldn't deal with bullying.
Oh, hey, well, I'm sorry you went through that. I mean, it's sad that happens, and you're right. There is that kind of thing where, you know, if it's not in vogue and it's not what people are into at that point, it's quite easy to be torn a new one for it. In my experience, I remember when I was in my kind of second year at secondary, so I'd have been about 13, 14, that kind of age, and I was a very big fan of Steps. And that was just not the right time. It was not the right time for that. But I'll tell you what, another thing that interested me about you when I was researching you was the fact that I think you might actually possibly be, in 5 seasons of Creative Vibes, you might be the first vampire pony that we've had on the show. Unless any of my loyal viewers want to say otherwise.
Right, not in season 1, episode 6, there was one and he had some kind of fangs.
That's the thing. The thing is that, like, because we've done this over like 3 or 4 years now, and we've had on like I don't even know how many guests we've had on, like 50 odd, something like that. I forget some of them.
Oh,
you're
all still loved.
Oh no, they're all lovely people. They're all awesome. But no, back to yourself, vampire pony, potentially first we've had on the show. What actually inspired you to go with this type of OC?
That's another long story. Basically, it started off when I this actually follows on from the becoming a brony thing, and I think it was about 2014 at this point, and I was sat in my room, and I still remember the date as well. It was the 20. it was the first day I posted my first MLP drawing. I think it's the 20. Is it the 26th of June or the 28th? But it could be the 21st. But I don't know. I forget days more than anything else. And I was sat there on Netflix and I was watching the Bronies documentary that was on there. And I remember looking back, thinking, yeah, I was in the fandom back a few years ago. Why not? Get back into it. So got into it and began drawing my OC. I ended up watching all the big YouTube pony artists at that point, so I Tombstone, Mumble. I had my phone all the way over there as well, so I can look at my phone right now. I can say, I remember all these people.
Oh yeah, exactly. You can go back, get the records. Like, this is exactly when that happens, and that's when that happens. It's just like it's you being a history student. Like, you know how to categorize everything. You've got a record of it all.
So it's all these people, yes, in the high points. Listening to those, and I thought, what should I think of for like a thing? So the name Chaosmauser comes from, the Mauser section is because of the German Mauser, which is bolt action rifle. So that's basically expressing my history side. And the chaos part was because any high school student back then was like, hey, I like edgy stuff, so I'm gonna like anarchy and stuff like that, and so that's where chaos came from. So it was like, a bit of craziness and everything. So I added them two together, and I've never really looked back. It's just like, yeah, the name sticks, but it's there now.
Oh, listen, it's not a bad name. I mean, basically you're just Mental Gun, which is not a bad thing to be called. We do have to talk about, you've done a charity project with Goat Train involving art packs raising money for UNICEF. Now, please tell us a bit more about this.
Well, basically, what happened was it was on his server. He was thinking, because at this point multiple artists were joining it, and he was thinking. Well, it turns out I don't know what he was thinking, but it was like we should we should do like an art pack or something for people. And he made this little thing for Halloween, and basically it was like get a bunch of artists and writers, and basically produce art with the theme it was. So it was me and another person from the UK BP server who did it. Chris Gottjar, that's his name. Check him out. He's good. He does very good art. And we just basically did like bits and bobs for it, and it went out with a really good success. I think it was about 20 pieces of art, and I think it was about 5 or 6 toys at that point. But my mind's fuzzy because I just had 2 Bacardis and Cokes, so yate. But it was quite a lot of art and writing and everything on there, and as you say, it was for UNICEF, and I think it raised over $100. And we were all generally surprised by it, so decided to go, hey, let's do another one. So the Christmas one, that raised quite a bit, and then just recently they have done the Valentine's Day one, which the funds are going to Mind UK. So to help with mental health, especially around Valentine's Day. So that's currently out now. Probably I'll send you a link to it later.
Oh, definitely. No, listen, we'll happily promote that. I mean, always happy to help out a great cause. And that is just absolutely fantastic, the fact that you guys have all banded together to actually make these art packs. Because, UNICEF and Mind UK, these are all great causes. And it's one of the other great things I like about the fandom is that there's so much... It brings out the best in a lot of people, and particularly in terms of character acts.
To be honest, it's a blessing is what it is. It's just complete blessing, this fandom. Because don't get me wrong, all fandoms give out, so much support to everyone else. But specifically, I think it's the pony fandom it's more enclosed. Even though it isn't enclosed, it still gives out that, that happiness, that shine of positivity which people need. The world it is like now it is. You need that light, and well, welcome to the world of Technicolor horses. We're going to boop, and that's going to be it.
Exactly. So, creators of My Little Pony, please remember, don't cancel the show after season 9. For goodness sake, we need a bit more of it. We've got a few more years of this to get through yet.
Hey, if they go to season 5, they go to season 5. The fandom will still be there. It may reduce in numbers, but it's still there. That heart is still pumping.
Oh, definitely, no question there, especially with the likes of BronyCon and all these other conventions that are still going. I mean, I know BronyCon's finishing up this July, but, it's still going out in a high, and there's still so many fantastic groups out there that, conventions, creators, little projects going on. It's fantastic to see that even this late into a fandom's life, it still inspires people to be this creative and do all sorts of great things.
Like I said, the UK's opened up a new one since Book finished in 2016, Griffish Isles. They're in their second year now, because the first year went fantastically. By the way, it's fantastic, that place. So they're doing their second year this year.
Okay, yeah, no, they're coming back in May, aren't they?
May 11th in Manchester, I believe.
That is right, indeed. They will be back May 11th, and we're aiming, little disclosure, future episode plan, ladies and gentlemen. We are having talks with Griffish Isles to have them on in a future episode, so you'll hear more from them very, very soon.
Yay! Oh, believe me, everyone who works on the Griffish Isles is a fantastic, talented person, and they have done so much, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. They're an absolutely brilliant bunch. I mean, I know one or two of them personally, and we've also worked together with them at Brony Scott, because they had a table at our convention as well, so we've worked with them a few times in the
nice.
And they helped run a few events at the con as well. Just absolutely brilliant people. So no, seriously, 2 hoofs up from me. They're absolutely fantastic. So if you are looking for a convention,
2 hoofs from here.
Well, what's that?
2 hoofs from here, unless
yes,
roll over hoofs. 4 hoofs.
Woof.
Roll over 4 hoofs.
Oh, the happiness! It's so lovely. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
And so, actually, I mean, we've been talking there about the fandom. We talked about the MLP and so on. In terms of the show in general, what are your favourite characters or favourite episodes? What's your favourite moments?
To be honest, I haven't watched the show in quite a bit, so It's going to be a bit fuzzy on this. Personally, favourite characters would have to be Rayburn, Sombra, Autumn Blaze, Kirin. Might as well make it cliche. And I think that's it at the moment. All the characters are standable, apart from Spike, because... Hi, side character!
Oh boy, right, if anyone likes Spike, let us know in the comments. Just bring it on.
He's a good character, but later episodes he's there for comedic humour, like Sunlight Shimmer is. I'm saying really controversial stuff right now, so...
But no, we will wrap up the show here. Firstly, thank you so much, Chaos, for coming on. This has just been hilarious, and thank you.
No worries, anytime.
Oh, listen, I might take you up on the offer on that, don't worry. And, yeah, no, this has been brilliant fun. And the last thing I'd just like to ask you is, where can we find you on the web? Where can we send our followers to see you?
You can find me on DeviantArt at Chaosmauser. You can find me on Tumblr at Chaosmauser. You can find me on YouTube, except that's pretty much just dead right now, Chaosmauser.
Oh, don't worry. I'll tell you what we'll have anyways is, as usual, we'll have all the links to Chaosmauser's various sites in the description below, so if you want to see what he's up to and see a bit of synthwave ponies and some hot, spicy takes from the north, that's the place to go.
Yay!
But we shall wrap up the show here. My thanks to Chaosmauser for being on the show. My thanks to you guys for watching. And of course, if you want to get in touch with us for whatever reason, for praise, constructive criticism, are you a creator, would perhaps like to be on the show, feel free to get in touch. We are on the Facebooks, the Twitters, we're here on YouTube at Creative Vibe Studios. We have our email address, highlandbronies@hotmail.com. Feel free to get in touch. We love getting all your messages. But we will wrap up the show just now. So once again, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Creative Vibes. We will see you all very soon. And the final word from Midnight Scribe is, as always, please subscribe.